Hey there guys, this is the Talking Trampoline and welcome back to another episode of, well, the Grunkle Fucker episode. I have a feeling this is going to be the last episode, though I cannot be entirely sure. Snort, snort. When you open your eyes, you're being stared down at by a fat, wet snout. Ah! Oink. Oh, Waddles, it's you. The plump pig is lying on your chest, and boy, he's a real hefty. Elise! Ah! You jolt up at the sudden voice from above you, sending Waddles falling from your chest into your lap with a squeak. You turn to see Mabel, an all metal-filled smile and rosy cheeks, barely able to contain her glee despite nearly scaring the life out of you. Hey there, sleepyhead, it's lunchtime. Is it? What happened to breakfast? A glance at your phone tells you you've slept in past noon. Instead of leaving and letting you get ready for the day, though, Mabel sits right down on the edge of the mattress with you and looks at you expectantly. So, how have things been going with Grunkle Stan? Oh Jesus. Has he told you about feelings yet? Have you two kissed? Or you're not sure you would tell her even if either of these things did happen? Oh yeah, sure. Both things. Lots of times. Really? Oh, Elise, you're just joking. Okay, maybe there haven't been any milestones, but things are going great, right? Could I just get changed now? Alright, but you gotta promise to fill me in later. I'm counting on you, Elise. Come on, Waddles. They leave and you're left to your thoughts. With all the hectic supernatural stuff in Gravity Falls that inexplicably often finds itself in and near the shack, you haven't been able to spend much significant time with Stan since your boxing session. You've only found short moments like a late night game of cards that ran longer than expected because by the end of it, you both just left the deck on the table and you listened to him tell the story about this one time you guessed that was a significant amount of time. You just never really wanted those moments to end. And just yesterday, Ford came up to you in the kitchen, standing up with a bowl of cereal in hand that he was apparently in the middle of eating, and basically gave you a condensed version of, if you break my twin brother's heart, I'll make you regret it. The bowl of cereal turning out to be 95% marshmallows did not make him seem any less intimidating. You're not sure why he did that. As far as you know, there's nothing official between you and Stan. Besides, Stan and Ford don't even live on land anymore. They'll be setting sail again, exploring the seas and documenting the oddities of the world. From what you've heard about it already, it's intense stuff that keeps them on the move and undeterred? Oh, and you're no expert, but your car's looking pretty close to done, meaning you'll be leaving Gravity Falls soon enough. All you can do is hope you're not leaving with any regrets. Heading out through the back door so that you don't disturb Suze's current tour, you round the house to where your car has stood still for the past 2 weeks. Sure enough, there you find Stan staring thoughtfully into the hood before he spots you and brightens. Hey, how's it hanging, Elise? Fancy finding you here, outside your own house, where Ford told me you'd be. What can I say? I'm unpredictable, never know what I'll be up to next. Your car's almost good to go as far as I can tell. I'm planning to take her for a quick test run around town to make sure. Sounds fun, where do we go? You ain't coming. I don't want you inside if there's an explosion or something. But there won't be, but it's a precaution. Okay. But if you're free tonight, I figured we would celebrate. Yeah, sure. What do you have in mind? Can't tell you, that just ruined the surprise. All you gotta worry about is yourself. Meet me back here in a few hours and wear your best studs. Stan shoots you a wink, twirling your car keys around his fingers before he turns and gets into your car. Unsure why you couldn't just go with him and hang out tonight, you wave goodbye and watch carefully as he revs the car to life. It works! And hey, no explosion. He gives you a thumbs up, which you return, and pulls out onto the dirt road towards town. A handful of hours later, and it's just about time to get ready for your date. Stan got back to the shack a moment ago, and through the window you've spotted Mabel talking to him outside. Though you couldn't figure out what they were saying, you laughed to yourself when she took his face in her hands, squishing his cheeks and looking him straight in the eye. A cute intimidation tactic, maybe? After rummaging through all the clothes you brought with you for your trip, you're relieved to find an outfit that fits the occasion. It's something flashy, why the fuck not? You don't remember why you packed it in the first place, but you're sure glad to have this outfit now. Feeling good about the outfit you chose, you head outside to meet Stan. You step out onto the back porch and are met with his back to you, looking off into the distance. You're about to call his name when he turns in your direction, and your words die on your tongue, speechless at the sight of him. Hey, you dashing fucker! Holy shit. He's wearing his major outfit from that one episode. He looks handsome. Your eyes catch on the way his gold chain glints in the light, drawing your attention to his proudly exposed chest, helpfully framed by the cut of his shirt. The buttons almost strain to contain how good he looks, and your gaze follows the line lower to how Stan whistles playfully at the sight of you. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Do a fucking turnaround. You do a turnaround, making sure to give an extra flourish as you spin. Stan's eyes light up as he laughs, tipping his imaginary hat to you in appreciation, and whistles again. So, where to? Hands in his pockets, Stan nods over to the Stanmobile a few feet in front of you. Only one way to find out. He offers his arm and escorts you to the passenger side, opening and shutting the door for you before heading over to the driver's side. While you were already looking forward to this, the way Stan looks makes you all the more eager. And that cologne? It suits him. You watch him, thinking to yourself just how crazy this all is. Your brain is telling you to get a grip, but your cheeks are beginning to ache from smiling so much, and you can't bring yourself to mind. We're on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The El Diablo soon purrs to life, and you're on your way. Since you don't know your destination, you're not sure how long the ride will be, not like you mind at all. Make conversation. You're always this mysterious with your dates, luring them off into the night with the promise of a good time. Stan chuckles. Nah, only the ones I like being around. Good to know. Besides, you should definitely know what to expect from a drive with me by now.
Self-voicing enabled. Stan, besides, you should definitely know what to expect from a drive with me by now.
What the fuck have I done? Turn it off.
Self-voicing disabled.
No thanks. The unexpected? Bingo. What the fuck did I do? Self-voicing. Oh my goodness. You gaze out the window again, unable to keep the smile off your face. Another minute or so passes before Stan speaks up again. Alright, we're almost there. Close your eyes. Really? Yes, really. And I've got a blindfold in the glove box if you can't stop yourself from peeking. Somehow it sounds like he's not joking about that last part. After what you've seen with him, it wouldn't be a surprise. Comment on it. You laugh and cover your eyes with your hands. We can save that for another time. I promise I won't peek. You can see, but somehow your instincts tell you he's flushed red from that. He laughs, pleased. You keep your eyes closed for another minute or two as Stan begins to tell you about the time he was hog-tied and blindfolded by some thugs on the side of a desert road. Just as he cuts gets to the good part about how he had to hitchhike using only his nose, the car comes to a stop. You both hear and feel Stan put the car into park and realize there's muffled music not too far from you. Can I look now? Hold on. Stan exits the car and the footfalls tell you he's walking to your side. In a second, he's there opening your door. Can I look now? Stan chuckles. Unless you can walk with your eyes closed. You open your eyes to see a rundown diner. Creasy's diner, to be exact. The building is about as slightly shabby in appearance as it was when you last visited. But under the glowing "We have food" sign is an endearing hand-painted banner reading "Disco Night." Through the windows you can spot energetic silhouettes and flashing multicolored lights. Hardly grandiose, but it's still beautiful. Oh my god, Stan! He takes your hand and helps you out of the passenger seat. What, you don't like it? I love it. I know you've been dying to see the magic I make on the dance floor. It seemed cruel to keep you waiting any longer. Tease him. We'll see if you can keep up, old man. Oh ho, now you're in for it, kid. Hold on to your socks. Let's save here. As you step inside, you're greeted by the sight of a dance floor. A disco ball reflects fragments of colored spotlights all around the room, and even the cow skull above the jukebox has string lights wrapped around its horns. Oh yeah, it's right there. How nice. It looks great. I like the lights. There's a good amount of people here. It's mostly older adults, which is unsurprising given the music genre, but there are a few younger folks who seem to be enjoying themselves unironically. You're surprised you don't see Mabel and her friends here. You finally look back at Stan and catch him pretending he wasn't just watching you for your reaction seconds earlier. You didn't do all of this just for me, did you? Nah, it's a monthly thing that picked up a while back. I lent them some equipment for it every time, but I may have knocked it up a week or 4. He's smirking. He's so proud of himself. Smug bastard. You roll your eyes, but you give him a fond smile. Well then, let's dance already. Grabbing Stan's hand in yours, you lead him onto the dance floor and he follows eagerly. I can't dance. Okay? There's a reason I don't dance. Because it's a fucking embarrassment, that's what it is. Alright, we can start you off with something easy. I need to see your moves first. Make sure you're the real deal. Got any requests then? Dab. Stan groans. Ugh, that thing Mabel and Dipper always do ironically. You dab in confirmation. Stan tries and looks like he just hurt his shoulder. You take pity on him. Oh, okay. Maybe he doesn't like it that much. Wait, what? Okay. Let's try that again then. No, don't overwrite. Fuck's sake. Skip. Freestyle. Whatever will impress me most. Make me swoon. Stan assumes a serious pose, pausing dramatically before he busts into the cheesiest hustle move there is. My eyes! Stan laughs freely. Any other requests? Foxtrot's a thing, right? Can you do that? I'm not quite the young buck I used to be, but I still got some trot in me. And you dance. Before you know it, the song has passed, and then another, and another. You weren't too sure at first, but Stan's actually a really good dancer. He's light on his feet, and he's definitely got rhythm. He just knows where to guide you, how to hold you. Oh god, you hope your hands aren't sweaty. Are you sweaty? Your face sure feels hot when he shoots you a wink before leading you into a half turn that lands your back flush against his chest. God. Don't do this to me! You're keeping up pretty good, Elise. Are you having fun? He asks low in your ear in a way that makes your heart flutter as you sway together. God! Why would you do this to me? Only because I have such an amazing partner. I could say the same thing. Stan laughs, bringing you back to face him. But the song ends only seconds later and he releases his hold on you. It's a slow song, and Stan? Okay, we'll call you Stan from now on. Stan raises his brow at you questioningly. I know English. Take initiative. Of course you want to continue. Laughing, you take his hand in yours again and guide it back to your side. Stan beams and brings you closer still. You're about to rest your palms against his chest, but change your mind and let them rest on his broad shoulders. You're almost nervous to look him in the eye, but when you chance a glance upward, you're so pleased with what you see. You've been close before, intimately even, but this is a whole new ballpark. Face to face, moving slowly as one, nothing to distract the one from the other's gaze. You try not to think about how good he smells, or how comforted and electrified his holds makes you feel. And you definitely try not to think about how a slight lean forward will easily bring his lips to yours. Oh my god. The song changes again, almost too soon, you think, but Stan just picks up his tempo to match, keeping your proximity the same. By now you don't even have to look at your feet. The pace quickens and you both get caught in it. A swing, a twirl, another swing, and you're dipped in Stan's arms so smoothly that it takes you a split second to realize why you're nearly upside down. I'm a spastic sailor. Stan's grinning down at you, panting from the intense bout holding the dip. You're speechless. You're not ready for this. Kiss him. Kiss him! Oh my god. Fuck it, we're going all in! We're going all in on this Grunkle fucker. Heart throbbing in your ears, you lean up, pecking him on the cheek with a chaste kiss. He chuckles and smiles down at you for a moment before bringing you back up into his arms and finish off the dance right as the song ends. A quick glance around the room lets you know that most of the surrounding patrons were watching the two of you dance. They look away as you notice, some whispering and some getting back to their own technique. It's Stan who speaks first. You hungry? Not what you were expecting, but you're kind of relieved he's keeping the mood light. I thought you never ask, you bastard. Great, my treat, kid. Pick anything you want. Of course, the place he's most generous at is a diner whose most expensive entry is $20. Lucky for you, I only want some fries and a shake. Sounds perfect. Instead of waiting for a server to come by, Stan goes straight to the counter to order. You sit down in the pleasantly unsticky booth to wait for him and notice that Stan left his jacket on the seat next to you. Put it on! In no time, Stan returns with 2 orders of fries and 2 shakes. He grins when he sees his jacket draped over your shoulders. Hope you don't mind, I was feeling a bit chilly. Now that one looks good on you, and it's not wet this time. He sits sliding in right next to you. It's been a long time since I just got fries and a shake from an old diner. Not usually something people my age do, I guess. They just don't know how to have a good time. True, they're all busy hating their spouses and drinking to forget. And paying taxes. Stan grabs his chest in mock horror. Don't even say that, gives me shivers at the very thought. Ready to dig in properly, you take a fry and dip it into your chocolate shake. Stan, handful of fries ready to be shoved into his gaping mouth, looks at you like you just screamed bloody murder. What? Did you just... What, you never tried it? No, of course not. It's delicious, perfect mix of sweet and salty. Stan frowns. Don't knock it till you try it. He scoffs, picking up a fry, dipping it into your shake instead of his own, and pops it into his mouth. His eyes widen as he chews, silent until he swallows. It's actually not half bad. Steal one of his fries. Seizing the moment he's off guard, you reach over and snatch a fry from his plate. Hey! Payback! Stan picks up your shake and takes a big ol' swig. Hey! He sets it back down, licking his lips triumphantly. He's missed a spot though, and there's a bit of chocolate left on the side of his smirking mouth. Wipe it off for him, because we're here now anyway. Hey Stan, you've got some... You lift your hands up to his face and wipe the chocolate away with your thumb. Stan's breath hitches at your touch. When you absent-mindedly lick the chocolate away, he's nearly beet red. You soon slip into that comfortable silence again as you survey the crowd and the couples on the dance floor. Everyone seems to be having a good time. It's nice seeing the others enjoy something Stan helped put on. It seems he does more good than he likes to admit to himself. When he's not going on crime sprees or getting arrested at least. Soon you're to the ends of your cups and have picked up the last bits of your fries. Hey, you want to get out of here? Lead the way? Soon you're back into the old Diablo, engine purring to life as Stan screeches out of the little parking lot and onto Main Street. With the way he drives, you honestly don't know how he keeps his car in such a good shape, even with his mechanic skills. But eventually your speed becomes reasonable as Stan transitions from the asphalt road to dirt, and you're left to realize your quickened pulse isn't due to his driving, but from anticipation. You taking you some sort of late night errands again? Nah, thought we could just see where the road takes us. You know, for a small town, it sure is huge. Tell me about it. This forest is more like a trap than a shack. Worked on me just fine. I can't take all the credit for that one. Sure, Ford's bait magnet helped. Stan barks out a laugh at that. But I was drawn to this place on my own too. I mean, it's grown on me, like a fungus, sure, but it has. But I'm not the kind of guy who hikes trails or draws gnomes. That's my brother. I'd rather be in the city than the woods. Way fewer bugs, more people to pickpocket, and not everyone knows my face. So then, how does someone like you end up in a place like this? You said you were from Jersey, right? I know how everyone else has gotten here, but not you. Stan sighs, as if the weight of his whole life story lies with that question. Luckily, he humors you. Long story short, my brother and I had a falling out when we were kids. High school. I got kicked out, barely talked to him or my parents for 10 years. He moved here, I spent those years bouncing from state to state. Oregon was one of the few I hadn't been banned from. Oh, I'm sorry. Stan just scoffs. Yeah, that was far from the worst of it. He asked me to come here, shit hit the fan, and then it was another 30 years before I got to see him again. Didn't even know if he was alive, but the reason he was gone was my fault. That's terrible. Yeah, well, it's in the past. Obviously, we're close again, almost too close. Having to live on a boat with the nerd really tried my patience a few times, I'll tell you that. Still, the complaint is found in its gruffness. By now, it feels like you've been driving for a good while. You're starting to wonder if Stan really does have no idea where he's going. But the thought stops in its tracks as the car makes a sharp turn on a diverging path. You catch the slightest glimpse of a wooden sign reading, "Do not enter." Stan, where are we going? Relax, Elise, I know what I'm doing. There's this real hot spot up ahead on the cliff's edge. Let's you see the whole town and the horizon and everything. Real picturesque. That sounds amazing. The car suddenly jerks left and there's a troubling bump as you go over a large redwood root. That is, if we don't die before we get there. Sorry kid, that one was in my blind spot. It's pitch black outside, Stan. Everything is a blind spot. Alright, hold on. One more jump and we're in the clear. Save. Don't hold on like a little shit. Stan's foot slams onto the gas. Your face hits the dashboard almost as hard. Shit! You alright, Elise? Ooh, jeez. You're more embarrassed than anything, the throbbing of your forehead and nose dulled by the tears starting to bubble up in your eyes. I'm fine, just hit my head, it's nothing. Stan grimaces, making you look up at him. Let me see. You face him and he whistles, taking your face in his hands as he examines above your brow. You're real lucky, kid. Just looks like it'll be an ugly bruise tomorrow. You sure your noggin's alright? Yeah, it's fine, just didn't hold on tight enough, I guess. Well, what did you expect? You've been on a gateway chase with him, for crying out loud. He lets go of your face and you can't help but feel a chill from the lack of his warmth. Hi, Lotte. What? What are you looking at?
Kwash!
Kwash?
Zwart. Zeg je bent platten.
Tegen mezelf. Ik maak een video. Je staat er nu ook op. En de webcam doet het niet, hè? Hij neemt alleen geluid op. My sister's a party pooper. Don't worry about it, Elise. I've gotten hurt way worse for dumber reasons. You wanna head back? Ford could take a look at you and make sure you're alright. Keep going. No, I'm fine, I promise. Just threw me off is all. Your head is pounding furiously, but you're not going to end this night near early for anything. If you're sure, positive. The Stanmobile pulls up to its destination at the cliff's edge. Just as Stan said, you have a perfect view of the whole town. What the fuck? Lotte! Bastard, kicked my door. The Stanmobile pulls up to its destination at the cliff's edge. Just as Stan said, you have a perfect view of the whole town, the surrounding canyon, and the remarkably saucer-esque shape cut into natural bridge. As you catch Stan's pleased grin from the corner of your eye as you gasp, taking it all in. Though the sun has long since set, the small glowing streetlights from the small town illuminate the surrounding trees, providing only a slight hint of the mountain's shadows. It's not until seeing it from up here like this that it sinks in just how secluded from the world Gravity Falls is. It's almost like a hidden treasure amongst evergreens. And through the back, thick foresty behind where you are parked might seem daunting alone at night. Here with Stan, it just feels promising. So I'm guessing you like it, right? It's beautiful. As you survey the scene, you realize this cliff seems rather untouched, save for a flimsy barrier made of wire and stakes just before its end. How did you find this place? Well, there's this other spot just like this, but that I'm told the kids call Lookout Point. It's just across from us, actually. Stan points to the spot opposite the car straight ahead. Huh. The place is infested with teenagers, though. Saw it myself and I drove up here to help Dipper with the girls situation. Teenagers. Gross. Exactly. It hits you more fully now that you're here with Stan, alone together, away from the world as you know it. You're thrilled, anxious, and suddenly don't know what to do with your hands. A nervous giggle escapes you, and Stan offers a kind of reassuring smile in return as he slings his arm along the back of his seat, crossing his leg over the other. The casual air is contagious, and you're thankful for it. So, how would you kill time in a place like this for 30 years? Besides all the shack and the secret portal stuff. Stan laughs, scratching his cheek. Well, as you know, I'm full of surprises. I skip town every now and then, for actual supplies and promising hookup, but as the shack became a household name, I had to stay put for longer and longer. So I'd make do trying to enjoy the small town thing. You settle in. You're not budging until he elaborates. Like what though? The fun stuff like disco nights? Stan scans the horizon looking for something. Okay, there, see the bowling place? Used to have a team there. We were really good, thanks to yours truly. Until this wet blanket Toby came on board and had to use bumpers like a baby. Again, you didn't mean to laugh. Yikes. You got that right. Aside from that, there's a great taco joint and bar. The kids like to go to the arcade and the mini golf place is pretty decent. He starts counting on his fingers. There's a mall, a creepy animatronic pizza place, a public pool, which I would not recommend by the way, unless you're into sitting in strangers' filth. That all sounds pretty dang fun, minus the filth part. It sounds like there's actually a lot to do around here. It's weird, ain't it? It's like you'll never hear about a place, but if the situation calls for it, pow, it's right here in town. You really like hearing Stan talk, about anything really. The way he emotes with his hands, the grit in his voice, and the gradual increase of enthusiasm when he gets passionate, even about something small, and of course he never fails to make you laugh. You could listen to him all night long. So you prepare to do just that, adjusting your legs into a more relaxed position. Nothing wrong with taking advantage of the leg room and these wide bench seats. What about the graveyard? Nothing special there, not even that spooky. Sure, the grave of America's lost president is there and something about national treasure, but I went there myself for artifact inspiration and there wasn't even a decent headstone to steal. The factory on the cliff nearby. You know, I'm surprised that place is still even there. There used to be this attraction in the middle of town, this Brad Gideon Gleeful. Hold on, Gleeful? Like Bud Gleeful, the car dealership guy Gleeful? Yep, Gideon is Bud's snot-nosed kid. They used to run this scam that made money off poor suckers' hopes and dreams by posing Gideon as a psychic. Oh no. It's just as tasteless as you're probably imagining. He'd even dance around and sing like a monkey in a tux. So what? I had a real monkey at the shack back then, wore a hat and everything. Anyway, these ideas obviously ate it all up. He became my biggest competition and even a bigger pain in my ass. The old factories where they used to make his merchandise. What happened to Gideon? The kid had some realizations, I guess, like a lot of people in this town. Supposedly he's trying to get that silver spoon out of his mouth and be a normal tween like the rest of them. But who knows? Haven't heard from him about him this visit, so I can't tell you for sure. That must be a good sign. Weirdly shaped building. That's the club. You shoot him a lock. Stan makes it through his next word laughing. That's the name, honest. You snort. Clever? The name might be questionable, but the place is nice enough to only let you in if you're rich. Only ever managed to sneak in there once. Bad vibes there, even for someone like me. Worst of all, food was mediocre. Not the kind of quality I didn't pay for. There's a lull in the conversation. A moment where the both of you are simply admiring the view. It seems like you've inched your way closer to Stan as he was speaking because all of a sudden you realize that your leg isn't all that far from his. The reflection of the outside light on Stan's glasses keeps you from being able to read his expression from this position. Get closer. You very nearly closed the gap between you two, and it would have been smooth too if not for the creak of patent leather seat as you shifted. Stan's grin tells you he noticed. Damn, time for a diversion. What's that on the water tower over there? Ah, that old chestnut. What's it look like to you? It looks like a muffin. It looks like a muffin. Not sure why anyone would choose that as a symbol for vandalism. Maybe it scares the hell out of anyone with a wheat allergy. Maybe it's a bran muffin. He wiggles his fingers like he's telling a spooky story. With extra raisins. You know, I almost died up there once. It's a real doozy of a story. You take the bait. Oh, do tell. And so he does, with his usual flourish, painting a picture of the time he and his great niece bravely scaled the tower and nearly got shaken from it by a video game character come to life. You find yourself with another chance to move closer. Get even closer, because why the fuck not? Stan's speech falters a bit as you inch closer and the side of your hand brushes his, but he continues when you leave it there. So I say to Mabel, having just looked death straight in its dumb ugly face. Finally, your thigh meets his, and suddenly he seems to have a pretty persistent itch on the back of his head because he can't stop rubbing it. And so, that punk Grubby learned his lesson eventually, but you know how his types are. I think I have an idea, yeah. Your eyes meet Stan's, and you hope to God he can't tell how much her heart is hammering in your chest. Screw it, here goes nothing. You still your nerves, moving and gently resting your head on Stan's shoulder, leaning into his side. You hold your breath and you focus on the water tower in front of you, worried about what look he could be giving you. Stan clears his throat, pulling his arm away from you, and for a moment the feeling that you just crossed the line makes you mentally curse yourself. Shit. Until he lets out an embarrassingly fake yawn, and his arm above his head and out, resting it across your shoulders. Very smooth. Very smooth. You're so excited by his touch and your success that it takes you a moment to realize the yawn and stretch. He just used that old cliche. And moreover, it worked. Let him enjoy his victory. You can't help but giggle. What? Stan reddens, smiling sheepishly down at you. You attempt to compose yourself. Nothing. You settle into your new spot in his hold, and he seems to relax a bit too. You're lucky you're so cute and endearing. Stan's chest puffs out at that with a laugh. Oh, you just said that out loud, didn't you? Crap. You'd be surprised at how little I've heard that before. Now that you're against his side, you really don't know what to do with your damn hands. Are they feeling a little extra sweaty? Curse these leather seats! Let's Grunkle the Grunkle! Again, as casually as possible, you decide to rest a hand on Stan's leg just above his knee. At your contact, Stan coughs on his own surprise. You're about to remove yourself from him and apologize, but he stops you by beating you to it. Sorry, I'm fine. It's fine. Just had a little something stuck in my, flagella. Really? For a moment you dare not to say a thing, instead close your eyes. There's that scent again, that overtone of cheap cologne mingled with leather, cigar smoke and salt. From this proximity in this car, it's just the right kind of overwhelming. You really can't believe this. Never in your wildest imagination could you imagine this is how your solo summer road trip would work out. But in this moment, you really can't imagine it any other way. You're just happy. Oh man. Hey Stan? Yeah? Thanks for your help. His eyes meet your own and he smiles down at you. No problem, kid. It's what kind souls like me do. You're really a lifesaver. Seriously, my car would have been a goner. And you rescued me from being bled dry by a mechanic too. You can feel the rumble in Stan's chest as he hums. Crooks, all of them, not even charismatic about it. That's certainly a plus too. Your hands move upward to his broad chest just below the open V of his shirt. I'm not only thankful for a place to freeload though, Stan, I've actually had a really incredible time here. Seriously, I'm the luckiest person to ever be ripped out of the forest with their car, since it was by such a nice family. Better than a simple trip to the mystery shack, huh? Definitely. That's not what I wanted. Tell him how you feel. Mabel's words come back to you, and despite your doubts, begging you to not say anything stupid. Your heart is yelling at you, tell him already, damn it! You know what? Yeah, if everything goes south, you're already about to pack your bags and leave. You'd never even have to think the name Gravity Falls ever again. Alright, yep, here it goes. Stan, I really like you. You focus on the gold chain just by your fingertips, toy with it, avoiding eye contact to keep your nerves while you've got them. You can hear him swallow thickly despite your heart thrumming in your ears. I've really enjoyed getting to know you these past couple weeks, even when you got me shot at. I can't tell you how much of a relief it's been to not only escape death by a complete boredom, but to find myself having some of the most fun I've ever had, period. You need an extra gulp of air for this next part. Thank you for tonight. I'm glad you brought me here. And I'm gonna miss you. I glance up and there Stan is looking at you with a mix of emotions you can't quite place. You think you feel his pulse skip a beat under your palm, and you're sure your own does the same as he looks away. His pronounced jawline is further exaggerated in the shadows as you see it clench before he faces you again. You don't know who leans in first, or more, or anything. But suddenly Stan's hand is cupping your face and his lips are on yours. Why am I happy about this? Yay! Why am I happy about this? I am happy. Fuck it, let's enjoy this. It's sweet but somewhat clumsy as his glasses remind you of their existence by hitting you in the cheek as he leans in close. You can't help but hum against his lips. And oh god, you forgot to breathe. You part, both of you breathing just a little bit heavier than before. Stan's big dumb grin is accompanied by pink dusted cheeks. What's that? Are you okay? I think we could do better. Stan laughs, cupping your face and bringing his lips to yours once again. He's more confident now, more sure with his hands. This kiss lasts longer, and shows no sign of stopping anytime soon, but from this angle, it's still a bit awkward side by side like this. Stan makes a noise of surprise against your mouth as you grab him by the collar, drag him down with you to the seat, but then he laughs and you can feel his smile on yours. The kiss deepens before Stan breaks it into instead kiss along your neck, your collarbone, his stubble feeling absolutely wonderful on your skin. Dude! Oh my god. Your fingertips have ruffled his hair beyond repair at this point, and you have to admit you prefer it this way. You get caught up in a moment, in his embrace, his kisses, each more intoxicating than the last, and his hand caressing your sides and waist in a way that makes Stan's name leave your lips. Holy shit! Honk! You both jolt, your heart flipping as Stan's head shooting up at the noise so fast that it hits the roof of the car with an embarrassing clunk. He swears furiously, rubs his head as he looks for the source of the disruption. What the? Sorry, Mr. Pines! You bolt up at the voice, distant and slightly echoing. Stan practically grows, pinching a bridge of his nose, hiding his face in shame. Sweet Moses. It was an accident, we swear! Oh god. Stan flips on his headlights to illuminate another car with two people from inside it, directly across from you at lookout point. It must have pulled up while you two were not looking. Stan kicks open his door so hard and so fast you're amazed it's still on its hinges as he steps out. I'm gonna kill you, Robbie! Robbie? Are you serious? Sure enough, the figure in the driver's seat, scared out of his absolute wits, fits the description of an angsty-looking emo teen. There's a girl in the seat next to him with purple hair who seems to be trying to hide behind her phone as she slaps the boy's shoulder. We were just leaving, we didn't see your car when— I don't remember your last name right now, Robbie, but you're gonna hope I never find out. You're dead, you hear me, kid? Dead. Oh, holy shit. The other car screeches the rest of the way out of sight at that, a couple more accidental honks, and a final "I'm so sorry" being thrown your way as it goes. That was absolutely mortifying. That was hilarious. I wanted to see Robbie's face because he's a dickhead, and although that's definitely the most embarrassed you've ever been, you kind of feel bad for the guy. Imagine on the other end of the situation. Stan flops back into his seat, swearing under his breath for a moment before sighing. He rubs his face with his hands before looking at you. Well, that happened. He seems nice. Stan grumbles, shutting his car door and starting up the engine. Can't even drive to a cliff and get any privacy in this town. Guess we should start heading back. He offers you an apologetic smile. We should, but can we take the scenic road? Yeah, absolutely. Luckily, the scenic road is also the long way home. You were mostly joking about the scenic road back to the shack during this time of night, but both Gravity Falls and Stan have a way of amazing you to no end. Little bioluminescent mushrooms are sprinkled along the path, on the trees, its perfect rings. Stan drives slowly and you take advantage of it to marvel at the greenish glow. This is incredible. There's a lot more where these came from, or so I've heard. There's a gnome forest somewhere around here, never been, cause, well, gnomes. But maybe Ford can let us know if there's something like it without the pests. You rest your head on the windowsill, watching the toadstool of all shapes and sizes go by, counting them. I'd really like that. With each passing minute, the rumble of the road and the thrum of the car seem to add another weight to your eyelids, and suddenly your fatigue catches up with you. You alright? You hum an affirmative and Stan takes you at your word. Well, this could be better. Sliding up next to him, you bring Stan's free arm that's not on the wheel around yourself like it was earlier this evening, and he chuckles. That's right, get yourself comfortable. You let your eyes fall closed, content. Wake me up if there's a nymph or something. Will do, Elise. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's your last day in Gravity Falls. No! For some reason I don't want it to end. Let's save. Weeks ago you worried today would never come, but now that it's here you don't know how to feel. I know how I feel. I know that I definitely don't want to fucking leave ever. Just yesterday when Stan told you your car was good to go, you wanted to believe there was something still left for him to fix. And yesterday evening, after your final dinner with the whole Pines family and Seuss's back-breaking goodbye hug, you had almost resigned yourself to letting go. But now in the clarity of daylight, you'd realize that these weird and wonderful people don't have to disappear from your life for good. You always have the memories, and you'll still be able to keep in touch through letters, packages, and video calls. They won't be able to get rid of you even. Too late, suckers. Cherished friends for life. When you make your way out of the shack, you're met by the Pines and Waddles, all gathered outside beside a large tarp covering what you guess is your car. They're talking amongst themselves until they spot you. There she is! Thought you were gonna miss the big reveal. Now you guys! Ford and Stan each take an end of the tarp, pulling it off with a flourish as Mabel and Dipper throw handfuls of confetti in the air. Ta-da! The reveal is indeed your car. Besides a couple of nicks here and there, it's hard to believe it's the same one you crashed just weeks ago. Heck, it probably still runs better than it did when you first got it. It looks amazing! You take it all in, running your hands along the hood and marveling at the spotless windows. Ford, can I call you next time I need a tune-up? If this is what happens when you use that magnet gun, I might ask you to total my car more often. Hi, yes, well, perhaps we can find a middle ground. Hey, no love for me, huh? Don't forget who got you out of this mess in the first place. I could never, trust me. I'll think of you every time I can use my windshield wipers without jamming the button. You laugh, giving Stan a big hug in gratitude. Thank you, Stan. You turn to the whole family, taking the moment in. And thank to all of you for everything. It's been unforgettable. Familiar car keys back in hand, you unlock your car and load your belongings into the trunk. Mabel comes up and hands you a package wrapped entirely into ribbons and bows, winking. Just something to remember us by. Stan calls from where he stands with Ford to the left of your car. I don't know what that is, but it's for me too. And me. Dipper simply shoots you a thumbs up, and when you look at the label on Mabel's gift, you see his name is already on it besides hers. Let's save it for later, just like Dipper did in the last episode. Well, he saved it until in the bus ride. Open it on the road after you leave. Oh, well, after you stop at the rest stop, because you're driving, please don't get into another accident. You tuck the gift into the trunk on top of everything else, making sure it will be safe from being crushed. After Mabel, Waddles comes up to you as well and snorts up at you. You give the little guy a loving pet. You're going to miss that pig. You're really going to miss Gravity Falls too. I don't know what to say, except I guess you're about to say goodbye when Stan interrupts you. Hold on, I've got one more thing to say before you go. And kids, you head on in first. You two, Sixer, give us some time alone. I gotta show her some kinks with the engine. Mabel oohs as she leaves, accompanying Dipper and Ford back into the shack. You'd think that was altogether too easy, and Stan must think so too, because he turns back to the shack's visible wimble. I can't talk today. Just as Mabel peeks out from the side of the window pane. Alone, Mabel. Mabel disappears from the window and Stan turns back at you. Well, it's been some couple of weeks, huh? Gotta say, I'm usually on the other side of this conversation. If there's a conversation at all, that is. Look, I've never been any good at this stuff, so I'll just cut right to the chase. If this was a summer thing, I get it, I really do, but if it were more... Okay, I'm gonna be entirely honest there. It's more. Stan laughs with relief. Really? I mean, of course really, I'm a fantastic catch. You lucked out with this one, kid. Honestly, Stan, you're not wrong. You don't come off as the long distance type. I was afraid to ask, so I wasn't sure I had the guts. But I'm glad you did. Yeah, well, you know, there's still a few things I could get a better hang of. You give him a warm look of your own, letting your fondness show, and Stan flushes under your gaze. Well, I guess I should give you my number. Wait, you already have that. I'd like a proper goodbye kiss? Stan's grin is contagious. You barely lean in before he meets you with a purposeful kiss, one that holds promise. It's enough to bring you back memories of that night in his car on the cliff. Oh yeah, you'll definitely be staying in touch. Just as you're about to deepen the kiss, a high-pitched squeal rips your attention from each other to the sound's origin, to find that it's none other than Mabel pressing up against the shack's window. I knew you could do it, Grunkle Stan. I knew it! Love at last! A small hand comes into view, grabs her away from the window, before a six-fingered one waves and draws the curtains shut. Stan looks a bit peeved at being interrupted, but relaxes as you laugh. You got some really good kids in there, Stan. Trust me, I know. Mabel talked me through some of the rough spots, believe me. Oh, I do. Maybe next time me and Ford Dog we can pick up where he left off? Another more chaste peck on the lips serves as your answer. I'll hold you to it, sailor. Don't forget me now, alright? I swear I'll spam you with the text messages if you do. Dipper showed me how. Laughing, you say your final goodbye with one last look at him. I couldn't forget you if I tried. See you later, Stan. Stan watches as you get in the car and start up the engine. You turn onto the road with ease, and in the rear view mirror you see Stan waving goodbye, as well as Dipper, Mabel, and Ford from the shack. You smile at the sight and say a last goodbye into the quiet of your car, watching until you have to focus on the road once more. Oh God, you're gonna make me cry. A little while longer and you're through town back on the open road. A sign passes on the right, now leaving Gravity Falls. It's not until you're at the next rest stop that you think to open Mabel's gift. Or well, the Pines' family gift. You unwrap it to find a mystery shack souvenir, a small knitted square Mabel has helpfully labeled as a mug sweater, and a photo. What is a mug sweater? Hey, kinda little Mr. Mystery. Mug sweater. I'm assuming this is a big sweater. Something from Dipper, I don't even want to know what that is, and what the heck is... Welp. I can't say that I expected anything less. The end. Thank you for playing. This was honestly a really fun and really, it's a beautiful game. And the writing is spot on and the art is spot on. The backgrounds, you know, when they show their expressions when they talk and stuff. I know Kiki Kid did that part of the art, and it's all so very, very good. And I actually don't want to leave. You see, that's kind of the problem with me. I get really sucked up into these kinds of things, and I have a really wild imagination, and sometimes I have a bit of trouble separating reality from fiction. And right now, I want to crawl into this fiction, even though they're not real. And that's really fucking stupid. And I'm going to end it right here before I'm gonna start crying. So I'll see you in the next episode where I take on Ford in next on the next path. Bye bye.